All right, foreclosure activity rose in the month of October as was expected. There's no surprise here. It's a sign of things to come. Welcome to Housing Bubble 2.0 News of the Week, or as I like to call it, another episode of As the Housing Market Turns. Today is the 10th of November. We are in the fall, approaching winter season right now. Hope everyone's doing well. Randy Patrick here, putting the realism back in real estate because we all need a dose of realism from time to time. So once again, hope you're doing well. Today will actually probably be a little bit of a longer video because there's a lot of stuff going on here. I'm going to show you a walkthrough from a really cool zombie foreclosure I was in. So I wanted to put that out there. But first of all, let's give thanks to our friends at foreclosure.com. They're sponsoring this video. So if you want more information as to what's happening in your area, look at the distressed listings in your neck of the woods, go to gethousingdata.com, gethousingdata.com to check out what's going on, again, in your area to see what's happening because it's growing, it's increasing. It's going to slowly increase to the end of the year, and we'll see probably a big hit of foreclosure filings stuff happening in the first quarter of 2022. So there you go. Now, as I always mention, the housing crash has already begun. As a matter of fact, it began before the foreclosure moratorium actually was, lifted. It's just tough to pick up from time to time. It's going to be very metro oriented or metro based. And as I always say, it's a managed crash. Okay, so everything that's going to happen right now, people are going to have their hands and fingers all over it, and people are going to be fighting it. There'll be a lot of headwinds, but ultimately in the end, we're going to have some sort of reduction in price, some reset, some availability of distressed properties. Of course, the key is to how this manifests and how it all plays out. So that's what we're going to be looking at and doing over the next few months, trying to get involved with all that. Well, interesting enough, so why I thought I'd do a video today, because guess what? October 2021 from Adam Data Solutions, guess what? Its activity increases. So foreclosure stuff's actually happening. So this is what does happen when a moratorium ends, and now we can see what's going on. So really it said here that it's up 5% from last month, which is not particularly huge, but it's still an increase, and that increase will start to get larger and larger, and up 76% from a year ago when virtually nothing was going on. So, again, that's to be expected that we'll see these volumes and this stuff pick up. Now, that's across the board. Certain locations like Illinois, Florida, New Jersey, who has the highest foreclosure rates, the typical states are going to see a lot of increases. So, clearly, St. Louis, Missouri had a big foreclosure filing, Trenton, New Jersey, Miami, Florida, Chicago, Illinois, Cleveland, Ohio. So, these are locations that had a significant amount of foreclosure filings. States, you basically have Florida, Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, and Illinois are really the leaders in foreclosure filings on a state level. But again, as I said, I'm not surprised by any of these locations. These are states that have a lot of distressed properties, and that's just what's going to happen as time goes on here. So ultimately, in the end, what does this mean for us? It just means more stuff happening in the marketplace. More foreclosure auctions are going on. More foreclosure starts, filings are going on. That's just going to manifest as time goes on. So, foreclosure starts increase monthly. Sorry, I zoomed by that a couple times too fast here. Foreclosure starts increase monthly in 28 states. So it's up, up 5% from last month and up 115% from a year ago on the foreclosure starting process. Pennsylvania had a lot going on. North Carolina, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, they were all up. If we want to take a look at actual, we'll call it population centers with greater than 1 million, New York City, Miami, Florida, Los Angeles, California, Houston, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia. So the metros, the bigger cities, now that the moratorium's over and now that people are kind of popping through and maybe, trying to figure out loan modifications or their forbearance starts, forbearance programs ends, we're going to see this hit a bit more in various locations. So as you saw the other slide that I put through here, if you're not a subscriber, please help my channel grow and smash that subscribe button. Really appreciate that. And if you already are a subscriber, if you could please verify your subscription, because sometimes I lose subscribers. As many as I put on, I tend to lose, so my net doesn't really grow very much. So if you could please check and verify and resubscribe if you've fallen off, that would be most appreciated. Thank you. So here we go with respect to lots of foreclosures coming our way. So Adam also put out, and I'll have the links to it in the information section of the video, to both these articles. Vacant zombie properties dip further in the fourth quarter, but possible increase looms. So, obviously, when nothing is happening, the zombie foreclosures, they will reduce in volume, but they're going to pick up again. And that's the whole point of this. So I think it's difficult to actually determine what is a zombie, because sometimes, historically, we have always thought zombie properties look beat up and untaken care of, and grass 2 feet high and broken windows and basically blights on our eyesores on our communities and neighborhoods. Well, it may not be the case. It could just be a vacant property sitting there that someone has recently left. So I think it's kind of hard for the data companies to actually ascertain what is a zombie and what isn't. Some stuff is obvious, right? Some isn't. But the whole point, though, is that, essentially this represents about 1.3%. It says here 1.3 million residential properties in the United States sit vacant. That represents 1.3%, or 1 in 75 homes across the nation. That's just vacants for whatever reason. But when we actually start taking a look at the zombie stuff here, well, where are we at with this? Well, there's not a heck of a lot when you take a look at what's going on here. Basically, zombie counts are likely to increase over the upcoming year. That's because lenders can resume taking back properties from homeowners who fell far behind on loan payments following the moratorium. Obviously, 1.5 to 2 million homeowners were in some kind of forbearance program, which is an underestimate, everyone, for sure. Zombie foreclosures are in a holding pattern right now, at least for now. So the chief product officer for Adam Data Solutions here. They're still totally off the radar screen in most parts of the country, with none in most neighborhoods. That's probably going to change soon, because lenders can now return to court and take back properties from owners who can't keep up their mortgage payments. Foreclosure activity is already on the upswing, so it depends on how fast the cases will go through the courts, which is exactly true. So we're going to probably see more zombie foreclosures. And typically, here's what happens: that when someone has a foreclosure auction date coming up, they realize and they go, you know what? Well, I'm going to get evicted. So they might just sort of bugger off before the actual foreclosure sale's done. So they could be out a few months or a few weeks beforehand. So that's when, we'll see it sit for a while, etc. So that's why we'll have an increase. People tend to leave just before the foreclosure process happens. And by the time it goes to the lender and gets back on the market, whatever, it could be a few months, etc. So just for fun, here is the top 10 U.S. zip codes with the highest zombie foreclosure rates. Cleveland, Ohio has got 1, 2, 3 of them. Watertown, New York, Maple Heights, Ohio, two more in Cleveland, Ohio, Endicott, New York, another one in Cleveland, Ohio, and Chicago Heights, Illinois. So this is your, I guess you could say, the highest zombie foreclosure rates basically are in these locations here, these 10 zip codes. You've got basically your total pre-foreclosure properties are the lighter orange, and then the vacant zombies are the darker orange below. So you can, does it actually correlate? I guess you could say it kind of correlates, but in the end, there's always going to be zombie properties out there. It's the key whether you can identify them, and then you can figure what to do with them, skip trace, whatever, contact the homeowner to see what's going on. I'll tell you that many times people don't even realize that their homes are zombies. They think they're already gone, which is actually kind of interesting. It just goes to show where the foreclosure process is and how people don't always understand it, or there's not much communication to the homeowner, especially when they leave, they relocate without a forwarding address. So this is their chart basically saying, we'll skip down to the second level, which is what we all kind of want to see here. Ultimately, in the end, we've got, about 1.3 million vacant homes across the U.S. These could be homes with mortgages, free and clear homes, foreclosed homes, homes in pre-foreclosure. All right. So ultimately, that's the vacant number of homes. So out of that 1.3 million, they're saying about 223 So 223 pre-foreclosure homes are out there. And out of the 223 pre-foreclosures, about 7,400 vacant zombie homes are available. And that's how you sort of take a look at it. So 7,400 homes across the U.S. I always think it's a bit of an underreporting of the information, because this really is a tough property. I've driven by properties which I look and going, no one's living here and somebody is. They just don't always take care of their homes, or there's a renter in there, or for whatever reason, don't have the funds for the upkeep, or pride of ownership has sort of gone by the way. So that's kind of the situation with respect to that. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you a video of me out in the field. So just bear with me. It's going to be about 15 minutes long. I thought I'd throw it in there because I want to see you to see firsthand what I do. and also what you can find out there. Now, listen, this is not a flattering video of me whatsoever. I look pretty rough, and it's hot. When I took this video, it was a few weeks ago, so it was hot. It's rained a few days beforehand, and basically it's humid, so I'm sweating the whole bit. But I just figured, you can check it out and then let me know what you think. All right, so we'll pop off to that now. Then I'll jump back on once the video is over. Okay. Okay, this is an actual video of being in the field looking at a property. And I thought I'd put this up because I wanted to let people know that, even though you got the mainstream media housing narrative talking about how, I guess you could say everything is good, low interest rates, low inventory, house values going up, there is a complete other marketplace that's happening right now. And, you have to excuse me on number one, I'm wearing this mask. It's not because of any mandate or COVID. You'll see why in a second when I walk in the house for sure. But it's one of those things that this is starting to happen now, guys. So what have I seen? Well, since July 31st, now we know that foreclosure moratorium is over. So we see lenders going to reset foreclosure auctions. We see foreclosure cases getting restarted where they left off, and we're actually seeing more foreclosure filings come on right now, which is interesting. And we know that forbearance plans are from August to the end of the year. There's about 1.2 million as per Black Knight Financial that are going to expire, and they're going to go through their own process. Some of those are going to fall into the foreclosure bucket for sure. All right, more to talk about that, but I wanted to give you guys a shout. So this came to me from what I would call a channel partner, okay? And the channel partner basically is, someone who's like, Randy, we don't want to deal with these short sale deals anymore, this foreclosure stuff. We'll just give them to you. You work them out for us. So, hey, man, if I got some street cred and I can help people out, I'm definitely going to do that. So it's interesting how these things kind of play out, all right? So let's go from now. We'll check it out, and I'll give you a skinny on what's happening on the property here. You'll find very interesting. Okay, so I'm flip the angle here. I'm behind the camera. So this little green thing in the front of the property here, this is what's called a code violation. So if you take a look at the property, what do we see here? Well, it's overgrown. The code violation is basically saying grass and or weeds over 18 inches. So clearly this place hasn't been taken care of for a long time. And obviously either code enforcement officers come by and check it out, or neighbors call in and say, listen, I'm tired of looking at this all this time. All right. What makes this property so unique is that code enforcement department sort of notification to cure the issue triggered, I guess you could say, some sort of notation in someone's data feed. And the people I'm working with, the group that said, hey, we'd like you to do all our short sales and work that part for us, which is great. They're looking through data because they're an investment company, they're buying and selling houses. This popped up, and this has opened up a whole interesting can of worms. So this house actually has been sitting here since 2008. The initial foreclosure filing was in 2008. What are we at now? We're in mid-October 2021. That's 13 years. Okay, so it's been 13 plus years that this property has been in foreclosure. It's been vacant and abandoned, and I guess you could pretty much say this is your classic and typical zombie foreclosure. Why is it a zombie foreclosure? Because the lender filed it, it's sat there and it's done nothing, and the homeowner left, and the homeowner actually believed that this was already taken back by the bank years ago, and they were surprised that, oh my goodness, we're getting these notifications now for code violation on something they thought they lost 10 plus years ago. All right, so it's funny how these things have a way of hanging out for various reasons. So the home is a mess. All right, so we're going to check it out, and we're going to go from there. All right, I'm going to do my best to talk as loud as I can. All right, and also, so you can see that little gateway here, and what do we have? We have what? Roof intrusion there, so obviously a problem. Clearly the whole place is overgrown with the grass, the weeds, the foliage in the front here. If you take a look, it's nothing but a mess. Okay, needs to be cut back, etc. So there was a tarp on the roof, I could tell from earlier. So I'm going to walk in the doorway here, and cobwebs. It's a mess. What do we got? Okay, well, we got a property that's been abandoned. Someone obviously left, and they left junk here, garbage, etc. So this is the living area, and this tile floor, a bit of a mess. So we got the dining area. That's sort of the sliders out to this little covered lanai area that's been busted. Glass all over the place. Looks like we got over here. So when you have vacant homes, people will come in and hang out. There's some candles, stuff here. So this probably was people hanging out here, probably doing some drugs, you know what I mean? In a place where no one's gonna bug them. No one's gonna come in here, so it's a nasty location. But if I turn around, what do we see here? Oh yeah, baby, take a look. This is mold. So clearly, when you have abandoned homes that don't have air conditioning on and you have roof leaks and water intrusion, you're going to get mold, and it just depends on where it grows. So you can see there's a ton of mold here. And this is the black mold kind. So this is, the most toxic of the mold. It's there. That's why I'm wearing a mask, because you can literally walk in this place and start to cough immediately. So a bit of a mess. So this is what's going on here. I'm close to the master. Let's take a look at the master bedroom. Oh, a bit of a mess. What do you see? Hey, look. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful shot of the light shining in? All right, well, obviously there's roof issues that have gone right through the roof, the trusses, the drywall, and you can see it all hangs there and drop down to the floor. So clearly, this is one area where there's mold all over the place. As you can see, a bit of a mess. I'm gonna step back here. I'm also sort of cognizant of on the floor, because of the overgrown grass and the opportunity to get in here. You never know what kind of critters and snakes are here. This is Florida, and I'm actually not wearing any sort of protective footwear, which is not smart because I didn't really know what I would actually find when I got here. Should have thought about that, and I didn't. All right, spiders, snakes, whatever. This is the bathroom area. Oh, Jesus, got nailed in the head here by a piece of drywall. All right, you can just see this is an old style, tub enclosure. All right, so this really sets up, this is the drywall I just walked into. So, here we got a place that, is pretty much sitting here doing nothing, and we're gonna create an opportunity out of this, which is really kind of cool. All right, from this angle, we got a little bit of a closet here, which is neat. We're gonna walk into what looks like a sort of living area and a kitchen. So, yep, kitchen is a mess. It's completely destroyed. There's no appliances left. They either were taken by the homeowner when they left, or if they've been stolen. Basically, this is a complete gut job. You can take a look at the water intrusion here, water intrusion up there. Oh, we got all the black mold here, black mold there. Pretty much a mess. So ultimately, in the end, this really is going to be a complete rehab from top to bottom, down to the studs, and maybe even taking out some of the flooring as well too. This is the second bathroom. It's like a shower stall area. Bit of a mess, and this is the second bedroom here. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, but this can be converted to a 3-2 probably easily. Ultimately, and you can see that, look, there's more. So all the sort of major rooms have mold and or roof, water intrusion, busted roof, the whole bit. So that's what we got going on here. Not a pretty look, a lot of mess, and basically, this is good though. This is because we can leverage this with the lender to say, give us this property at a very, very cheap price. Whoever buys it can, the guys I'm working with can make it a rental, or they can do a fix and flip on this if they wanted to. Here's the garage. You can see again, another whole light coming in. When people leave, they bug out, leave stuff here, not their problem anymore. There's a laundry area back around the corner you can't see. And I'm not gonna go in there, but the electrical box, it looks a bit messed up as well too. So in the end, this is really going to be take it down to the studs, new roof, probably new electrical wiring, probably, new AC, new water heater, washer, dryer, flooring, complete new bathrooms, new kitchen, clearly new kitchen here for sure. So you can see it's a mess. So again, we'll do what we can. And this is for this area. This is a bit north of Tampa. They love these drop ceiling lights with the kitchens. I don't know why they did that. That's the thing. These were fluorescent lights under there back in the day. This area seems to have a lot of 2-bedroom, 2-bathrooms. What a lot of people do is they take the garage and they convert the garage, because it has a water hookup for the washer dryer. They convert that to maybe a 3rd bedroom, and then it becomes a better rental location. So obviously you got to watch. There's tons of glass there. So people have clearly been in here. They've broken in, whatever. Who knows? We're out here in this area. This is what they call a lanai covered, living area here. There's no AC here, but at least you can have, your table chair out here, whatever. I love these things. I call these little drive-through windows. You can see that people basically, you can open from the kitchen and pass your stuff outside, which is neat. People have been hanging out here, I don't know for how long, and we look outside. Well, what do we got? We got basically overgrown busted chain link fence, overgrown. All right, so that's a scoop on this. So really, this is a mess. This is a classic zombie foreclosure. Couldn't ask for, a better setup here. There's a first mortgage that was filed foreclosure and stopped for whatever reason. And there's actually a second mortgage that was assigned to a financial company back a few years ago. And now we have a code violation. And the code violation is really what triggered the opportunity to find the seller, contact the seller, talk to the seller. And they were very surprised that this property still existed in their name. They thought it went back years ago, like 10 years ago, to the bank. And here we are today. So we're engaging them. I'm out here today to do my work, as part of the process to get the short sale going. And we're going to hit the lender, and we're going to ask for a very low dollar amount, because in the end, it's doing nothing. If it's been sitting here for 13 years and no one's made a move to foreclose on or do something with it, this is a non-performing asset, and hopefully, we'll get this at a really, really cheap price, and rightly so, because of the damage. Like ultimately, if you take a look, every room has had water intrusion, every room has mold, like everything. We're talking, from soup to nuts. This is a complete rehab. This could cost, $7,500 to do all this properly, and we'll just go from there. And stuff we can't even see. The plumbing, obviously you don't see that right now. Electrical, I said, probably have to replace electrical. So all these numbers will add up, and it'll be a costly rehab. But it can either be a rental opportunity for the buyer, or it could be a fix and flip to sell to somebody else who's looking for a place that they want to live in. So in the end, this is what goes on here, guys. And my point really is the fact that there's a whole retail market going on, and we understand that, and we get that, and we understand the narrative. But behind the scenes, there is a, we'll call it fledgling, growing, distressed property shadow inventory market that you should be taking a look at. And this is where you get to find deals. All right. Oh, man. So, thank God I went to a hardware store and picked up these N95s. At least I wasn't sucking in the mold. I don't know how good it is on the mold particles, but normally I'd be coughing like you wouldn't believe, and I'm not doing that right now. So I think these did work for a bit. 2 of these were like $8. So hey, you know what? It's definitely worth the investment. So I'm not coughing and hacking. I'm sweating obviously here, but this is what you got to do, and this is what I do. So people are like, help us buy properties, whatever. Well, it's about getting out there. It's about identifying the opportunities, which is stuff like this, checking them out, and jump on it. I mean, this home has been sitting here in this neighborhood for 13 years, and I'm surprised that no one's really taken a look. Like, if you take a look at the neighborhood, it's a decent neighborhood. These are nice houses that are behind me. This is not a bad place at all. Pretty solid, neighborhood. Everything looks nice. Everyone's got nicely, manicured lawns, the whole bit. So this is a great place to live, and raise a family, do what you want to do. But this eyesore has been sitting here for so long, and now we're going to hopefully improve the neighborhood and take care of it. But it's funny that this stuff exists, and I guess that's my point, right? So we've been doing these videos for a couple of years now, right? Housing Bubble 2.0, and I talk a lot about the bubble, and I can't control where the market goes. I can't control interest rates. I can't control policy and where the government and the lenders and Wall Street are taking this market. But the more you know about what's going on, and the more you see what's there behind the scenes, the better opportunities you're going to have, whether it's a primary residence, whether it's a investment opportunity, just moving property. So like in the end, when you take a look at where things are at, if you get a distressed property like this, you got an outlet. You could move this to somebody and do no work on it and make money. You could fix it to make it a rental, and now you've got a cash flow income property, or you could fix it and flip it to a retail buyer, and you've made even more money. So that's what's going on right now. And everything's changing, so there's no doubt about that. The world's changing, but we're at the sort of cusp now. We've passed the inflection point. Things are changing a little bit in the marketplace. Things have slowed down a little bit. More inventory is coming on. Sellers aren't quite getting the prices they used to get. Buyers are becoming more savvy. You're not willing to pay
those ridiculous amount of price points that are out there, and this is where the opportunity lies. And as I always say, I think to get really good deals, your average real estate agent is not going to do this. I mean, what are they going to do? Are they going to go? Do they buy data? Do they go drive around and do what's called driving for dollars? Do they check stuff out? Probably not. All right. What do average real estate agents do? And listen, I'm a licensed real estate broker, and I get it. That's not my forte. My forte is this type of market here, because I know there's always going to be buyers. All right. So you look for the working class neighborhoods, the C class neighborhoods, because that's your sweet spot. What's the sweet spot? Well, first time home buyers can buy it. The average person can buy it. Investors will buy it and rent it out. Hedge funds will buy it. So you see, when we target where we're going to go, we want to go where we have the most exit strategies and the most flexibility. So that's sort of what we do here. But that's all coming. So it's slowly picking up steam. We don't hear about it because, as I said, there's a lot of other noise going on with respect to the country, the world, politics, the economy, mandates, whatever. Okay, I don't, and that's, obviously we just have to deal with that and figure that out on the fly. Those are other issues for us all. But from a housing perspective, it's almost like there's been not much has been spoken about housing in the past couple of months because of all this other interference and noise, which is quietly sort of happening behind the scenes now, and things are starting to change. So that's what I'm trying to say to everybody. So anyway, I thought I'd put this together to show you what's out there. This is a classic zombie foreclosure. It's an interesting opportunity. We are securing this as we speak, and we're going to engage, we're engaging the homeowner who, as I said, didn't even think they even owned this technically. Thought they got rid of this, was gone, taken from them 10 years ago via foreclosure plus, but they still actually have it, and it's just by a unique and I don't know what that word is it for. It's just like a little, like a code violation notation, caused someone that I know to make some phone calls to engage the homeowner and to say, hey, we have a potential deal here. Let's jump on it. So this is how things work in the marketplace. There's always a good story behind stuff. Anyway, I just thought I'd put this out there for you guys to check out. Obviously, I'm in the field. This is what I do. Housing Bubble 2.0. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Help my channel grow. If you want to talk about how to do what I do or get involved with this, we've got training courses. We've got lots of opportunities. Please ping me and we'll discuss, because that is starting to grow now, and that will be a big thing in the very near future. All right, guys. Take care. We'll look forward to talking to you soon.
Okay, so you had to sit through the whole thing. I couldn't stop it. Anyway, so that's just an example of stuff that we get involved with, which is actually kind of interesting. And as I mentioned, it was appropriate because the zombie stuff was out, and really, if you think about it, I'm out looking at these properties, and it's never just you drive around and see one. You got to do a little research, you got to figure stuff out, etc. So we're in the process of engaging the homeowner right now, and we've got our sort of things happening, and it's going to work. It's going to be a great opportunity for the investor buyer in this case. I'm not too sure what they want to do with it. They have two options. They can said fix and flip it, make a profit, or they can make it fix it cosmetically, do what they need to do, and basically make it a cash flow rental. So either way, it's good. And of course, we're going to leverage it with the lenders. There's more than one thing that goes on here. This will be a good case study. Multiple mortgages, unpaid taxes, code violations, the whole bit. So this will be a good case study in the future. And I'll let you guys know as we progress on moving through that deal. So I said, this is what happens all the time. We'll just get more and more of these. Every day I'm getting more opportunities that are coming our way, which is good. You guys should be jumping on this as well too. So as I mentioned, the shift's already started. Everyone I speak to is really getting ready for this. The amount of marketing I see from, for real estate agent services, short sale negotiations, et cetera, it's all happening. People who are trying to do products, for foreclosures and stuff. Nobody really has the short sale thing down, which is why I look, it's kind of more exclusive to what I do. So obviously, if you guys want more information, you can contact me on that. But we're going to be launching something very shortly now for the new year, pre-launch and then launch the new year. So very interesting. But again, as I said, this stuff's out there. So when it boils down to it, who the early bird gets the worm. The people who are out looking for stuff find things. I look at it, it's always the people who are in the field, the feet in the street, that see what's happening in the marketplace first before it hits, retail, MLS, and then, things have already changed, or you sort of missed the boat. That's kind of my point here. So in the end, keep aware of what's going on. It is what it is, guys. Now, the new stats are not out yet for October, but if you take a look at where, this is just the Tampa Bay Metro MLS. That's the metro area. This is the MLS stats. The I guess you could say the median sales price of a single family home was $349,000 in September. The median sale price for a short sale is $248,000. All right, so there's a big discounts there, big equity. Typical discount at the foreclosure auction runs around 35% if you're buying at the auction. Obviously, if you buy at the auction, there's more risks, and it's all cash as well, and you've got the ability to be bid up by your competitors. That's why we prefer short sales, but we'll do auction stuff as well if it makes sense. And again, this equity play here is not even trying. Like, it's just, I call it retail real estate. So when we get involved, we're going to push something down. I literally just got an approval a couple of days ago on a short sale that we started in September, which we have a approval. So we're going to get to closing, and we got a massive discount on that. So it certainly puts what I'm showing here, it's even better than that. Okay, better than 29%, better than the 100K is what we got on this property. So that'll get to closing as well. So my clients are happy. So it's out there. So I guess that's my point. And as time goes on, as long as you have the right system, the right people in place, the right partnerships, the right vendors, providers, you can get this stuff done if you know what you're doing. So having said that, if you want to reach out to me, you know how to get a hold of me, drop me an email. Right there, and we'll get back. I know I've talked to a lot of people. I need to talk to more people coming up here. Also doing the build to rent, build to flip, which is really getting popular, especially in Florida now here, based on just what's going on with relocation and opportunities and price points and stuff. So even though we're in a tight situation with supply chain, etc., now's the time to start looking at that, because it's going to take a few months to get your land and get everything kind of prepped before the build actually happens. And by that time, the supply chain stuff should be taken care of. But that's the next big wave, is the build to rent. The big hedge funds are already doing it. It's time that the little guys do as well too. All right, guys, take care. Again, share the video with your family and friends. Appreciate your likes and comments. Subscribe to a subscriber. Reach out to me if you want. We'll look forward to speaking with you later on. See ya.